Welcome back, folks, to the Mailwright Show. This is episode 179. I'm still a little bit ill, folks. I've got a lingering after effects of my cold. Robert's been working like a demon and sounds like he's hardly any sleep. This should be an interesting episode. We're going to finish off our discussion about CRMs. And last week's was a little bit negative, but we're going to finish off on a high note, because we realised we really didn't tell you in enough detail about the 3 to 4 CRMs that are specifically aimed at real estate agents that we highly do recommend and think have some usage for you. So, Robert, for our new listeners and viewers, would you like to quickly introduce yourself?
I would love to. So my name is Robert Newman. I'm the founder of a company called Inbound Real Estate Marketing and a website called Inbound REM. I'm going to add some stuff to what John says, which I oftentimes do, and he just loves. It tickles him pink. I'm going to say that we spend a lot of time on a list of 5 CRMs that we came up with kind of arbitrarily. That was KV Core, Playster, Agent Fire Curator, and Easy Agent Pro. And if you didn't check out our previous episodes, as we're talking about those website CRM combinations, you should. As it turned out, though, none of them were really strong on our, hey, go out and use this service kind of list. So John this morning wisely and infinitely smartly said, hey, why don't we talk about, because I'm like, we're done with CRMs. Why are we going to do it with CRMs again? And he's like, well, we didn't really actually tell anybody what they should use. And he was right. So today we're going to cover a few CRMs that we do think that you should use. And we're going to try to illustrate the reasons that we think that you should use them, even though it's a little hard to do over the, over just the
audio.
Audio. Thank you, sir. That's the hour of sleep talking. Guys, I want to inform you, so you can be as excited as I am, that John's very next stop this morning is the doctor's office. So this here is
I'm going to get my legal drugs, folks.
Yeah, this is a determined man. He is limping onto the field of play.
Nothing will stop us producing value for our listeners and viewers, Robert.
Yeah, and he's proceeding through anyway at the god-awful time at 9 o'clock in the morning on a Tuesday. So hopefully we give you guys a once-in-a-lifetime, never-to-be-forgotten show filled with information that you just couldn't live without. All right. Was that a good preamble, John?
It was, because this is going to be a part 3, and it's going to be our finishing off episode of this. I just thought it was a really good time of the year to really delve deep in CRMs. Also, part 1, we really outlined what a CRM was, why it was important, and we mentioned a few names, but time went quick, and we really didn't go into that much detail of the some of the names that we think are quite credible. And then we had our list last week, which we weren't that enthusiastic about some of the names on that list last week. Right. So I think it's a good opportunity to round up. So let's start with Boomtown. What it is and why do you think it's a really good product for what it does and who it's targeted for?
Okay. Well, Boomtown essentially sells a very landing page-esque real estate website built on WordPress. And all of their websites look almost identical to each other. And they've looked that way for quite a while. It's like 3 little circles and then a whole bunch of listings down on the homepage. What makes Boomtown work really, really well is 2 separate items. One, the front end of the website is designed for the only kind of traffic that they really focus on, which is paid traffic. And what they do is they have many very good ways of capturing leads, and they're designed to ask for registrations early on into the search process. And they do so in a fairly organic, clever way and they also have a slightly slicker appearing IDX than other IDXs. So they built a better search tool. They ask for information in a slightly more credible way. And then once you've registered with the search tool, that's where Boomtown then really starts to excel in terms of the search experience. It gives you the ability to build your own little list of listings, and you basically get an account. And the account that you're getting as a searcher is quite different than all other IDXs out there. So already the experience with Boomtown on the front end for the consumer side is different. What does that mean? What's the other side, though? Because we keep saying CRM. That's not a CRM. That's the IDX. Well, the other side of it is that Boomtown then collects these user accounts and sends them to your team. And you can have a whole bunch of different ways that your team can actually utilize this information. You've got you can assign the leads. You can do a round robin. You can see what your team has been doing with the leads. In other words, you can take an eagle eye view of the activity that they're doing on each of these user accounts that you may have assigned them. In other words, they give you a lot of clarity and insight in terms of what's happening with the lead once it's actually registered with your Boomtown platform. Also, a lot more clarity about whether or not your employees, your real estate agents or brokers or whoever it is that you're distributing these to, what they're doing with those leads. You can contact them through the platform too. You can email them. You can log a call to them. I believe, I may be wrong on that one, but I know you can email them through the system. And just basically, besides Follow Up Boss, has one of the best team views in all of real estate lead management. And last but not least, and I think this can't be understated enough, you're paying a ton of money with Boomtown. You're paying $1,500 a month for the licensing fee. But unlike so many other platforms that really don't necessarily do something for that money, Boomtown does. They have an assigned account manager. And this manager usually has walked you and your entire team through a personal training on how the system works. So you've actually been trained. In addition, they're available to you for questions. Boomtown is one of the few platforms that does not get bad reviews about their service. They get great reviews about their service. So people, like, you're spending extra money, but you're actually getting something for it. You're kind of getting a personal concierge, which teaches you how to use the tool that you've purchased. So for some reason, you're not a tech genius and you're having, I don't know, questions about some of the services. Like you said, oh, we're listening to Robert and John on this podcast, and they said my thing can do this. Well, guess what? You've got somebody that you can email that will be responsive, that will immediately say, oh, yeah, here's how you do that thing those guys said you could do. So Boomtown gets high marks from me, really high marks. They are, from everything I've seen, read, and looked at personally, they are probably one of the best real estate lead generation platforms specifically for real estate teams that is out there.
So you've got the 1,500 per month, and then I would imagine you've got to include a budget for paid-for-click advertising as well. Is that correct?
Oh, yeah. Boomtown is a $3,000 a month minimum investment.
Right.
Minimum.
So really, it's aimed at power teams, a power principal that's handing out leads to sub-agents or a brokerage, really. Would you agree with that?
I would. There's also brokerages that have gotten really clever about the way that they manage their Boomtown account. They'll have, 9, 10 agents, and they'll make sure that each agent kicks in, let's just call it $300 to $500 a month, and everybody basically shares the expense of the platform and the advertising budget that goes along with them. Where the broker maybe pays the $1,500 licensing fee and lets the team pick up the PPC fees. Another thing about Boomtown is they have this way of listing a lot of neighborhoods on their landing page. You can target major cities and get like 150 different neighborhoods on this landing page based upon the way that they present the properties, and it's always showing how many available listings. All that means, though, is that you could have like a team working a very large city and still use a Boomtown site, and basically everybody could get covered, which makes that passing along the fee to your agents actually pretty clever. If you had 16 guys and each one worked 16 different neighborhoods, that guy could just give you some money for his neighborhood, and it would still make sense.
Right, we're going to go for our break, folks. When we come back, we're going to be talking about webmaster websites and bold leads. We'll be back in a few moments, folks. We're coming back. I'm still here, folks. I might be dying slowly, but I'm still here, folks, for you,
Wow.
listeners and viewers, and for my beloved co-host,
Yeah.
Robert. So, webmaster websites. What are they about? Why would you put them on the recommended list?
Real estate webmasters. Okay, well, um, one of the things that real estate webmasters done. So, God, they're a complex topic because they've been changing a lot of shit. So much so it's hard to keep up with them. But fortunately, I still talk to 3 or 4 realtors a day, and I still get real estate webmaster clients who still give me the logins to their sites. So I still get to see what's happening with real estate webmasters in real time. And here's what's happened. They had an old platform, and they had this CRM on the back end, and it was sweet. And then they changed it. They said they were upgrading it, and then they bastardized it. They took a lot of the functionality away. And then they realized that that wasn't working, and they started to get a lot of client complaints as they raised fees and did a whole bunch of other crazy shit. So what they've done is they've gone back to like a scaled down version of the old CRM. So even talking about the real estate webmaster CRM is a little complicated because they keep changing it back and forth, back and forth. So I will say this: the version that I've looked at, which I've looked at as of January 18th in this year, is a version of the CRM that they were using all the way throughout 2018. It is a very, very slick CRM. They went back to what I consider to be one of the best CRMs that's out there. And here's one of the reasons why. They have a really rock solid content page builder inside their websites. Their websites used to be designed so well that all you as a realtor had to do was go in and write content pages on the neighborhoods you were interested in, and you had a reasonably, like you had a chance of ranking. And that's pretty hard to do. I build websites. That's difficult to build a website that is that good, that without link building or other SEO efforts that you might get on the first page for anything. Yet real estate webmasters was doing something so that they really kind of taught you in a very specific way how you were supposed to be doing these pages. Like they told you what the URLs were supposed to be, the slugs were supposed to be, because consistently and across the board, real estate webmaster sites are built the right way. And I think the reason for that is that real estate webmaster actually knows how to build websites that rank. And so they can educate their clients the right way on how to do that. And they built a page builder that built a page with all the right elements, either a whole bunch of like a picture carousel or a video carousel right on the page with a little bit of verbiage. And then they have a really, really nice IDX that's highly functional that gets high user scores from Google, in addition to all the listings appear to be listings that are unique to that website, which makes that whole combination of things makes the front end of real estate webmaster sites work really well. Here's the cool thing on the back end. They are once again, as with so many things, they have consistently been first in class, and they still are in some ways, which breaks my heart to say, but it's true. So I cannot tell a lie, and they're still first in class. And what you can do once somebody registers with the site is not only do you get to see the property that triggered the registration, so you get to look at the specific property, but then you can email them within the same, like, so it pops up as a lead on your screen and says, so-and-so is looking at this property and registered as a lead. And then gives you right on the same panel, do you want to call them or email them? So now you have the registration and you have the ability to call them. And if you do place a call to them, you then automatically create a customer record that you then can leave notes in. It's pretty sweet. It's one of the most functional CRM and IDX combinations that you're going to find inside real estate. Now, having said all that, for the love of God, listeners, hear me now, please, because you cannot say the name Real Estate Webmasters without understanding that they are the least friendly real estate website provider that I know of. The management and the ownership there is you're going to do exactly what they say. You're going to wait in enormous queues to get any changes done to your website, months long. You're going to pay $250 an hour, 10 hours in advance, so $2,500 for any change that you want to make. And their contracts usually range in value from $30,000 to $60,000. So it's way by far the most expensive platform. It's the least friendly customer service. I am telling you that my opinion is they make one of, if not the best real estate website. So I have to say that reluctantly. And you have to hear me on these other things, because despite the fact that they're the best, their customers leave in droves. So that's what I have to say about those guys, John.
I think that just to clarify is how do they get people to the website, to this fantastic experience? Is it just solely through organic search?
Most of the time, yeah. A lot of their clients don't even use PPC. Their sites tend to rank organically, and that's, like I said, they're alone. There is nobody else. There's not. Actually, that's not true. My company, Inbound REM.
There's your company, isn't
There's
it?
my company. There's my company, and then there's Sierra Interactive that takes over Real Estate Webmasters accounts. But Sierra Interactive doesn't, as far as I can tell, doesn't really actually understand the SEO principles. They just do a very good job of taking over Real Estate Webmasters accounts. You don't own the site, but they will do a good job if you want to transfer off a Real Estate Webmasters. I have not had a chance to look at Sierra Interactive CRM though, so they're really not going to be up on this particular review because I haven't had a chance to see how they manage their leads once they're created by the system. I can tell you that they have a very solid IDX search experience, probably better than Real Estate Webmasters, actually.
You slightly confused me here. This is a totally separate company that's in competition with Webmaster.
That's correct. Sierra Interactive is been, as of 2018, was on my top 10 real estate website companies to build a real estate website with. And they've stayed there. They're going to be there on the 2019 list as well. And it's just, it's a company that's built like it's another IDX search provider. They're just doing a better job on building custom real estate websites, but they're building it using their own technology. They're not messing around with WordPress. They're never going to give ownership of the site over to anybody.
Right.
There's a lot of limitations with Sierra Interactive. Even though
the other thing about Webmaster, do they build their websites on WordPress?
No, they also build them on their own proprietary stack. They build them using PHP.
Right. So you don't own the website, or do you?
Nope, never will. Now, God, Lord have mercy, you never will, because then they couldn't hold you over the barrel and basically take as much money as they possibly can take, which is pretty much always been what it feels like their philosophy is, because they raise prices arbitrarily. They charge twice, 3 times as much as anybody else, and of course, I'm sure the prevailing logic would be, hey, we're worth it, and they are. They build a website that makes money, but the owner is on record as having said he's made like nearly $100 million off his company, or 75 million. I don't know, just something ridiculous.
Rightio. I think we move on to bold leads.
Probably.
Well, because I think this, Webmaster, bless their hearts, but it's really, it's either at the top echelon of the real estate agent pyramid, or it's broker level, really, when you start talking about that kind of money. Now let's talk about bold leads, which compared to the two that we've talked about is a very different animal, isn't it?
It is correct. Yes. So you're not getting a website with bold leads, but you are getting a CRM, and a good one. So I don't know if they skinned Chime or not. I think originally they did, because it looks very similar to a Chime CRM, which anybody like listening to our show can go out there and can take a look at a demo at Chime, and then you'll have a reasonably close understanding of how the bold leads backend looks. So they provide you, again, this is a real estate lead generation service that happens to include a CRM with it. So also on this list, by the way, of CRMs you should use is LionDesk and FollowBoss. But let's just stick with bold leads for the moment. So what bold leads does is they combine a funnel along with your lead, with your with your actual lead page, with your landing page, sorry. And this funnel is awesome. So a funnel is a series of activities that take place to a customer record. And a funnel is like, I'm going to call you, I'm going to email you at a certain time. What Bold Leads does, which is pretty incredible, is they can apply a funnel for upwards of 2 years. So really, when your customer's in this funnel that is happening with Bold Leads, so they're getting automated follow-up for years, which means that all of your lead nurturing needs, except maybe property drip information, is being taken care of by Bold Leads. So all you have to do is maybe occasionally throw a call out through the customer record. And the customer record, by the way, has a complete list of all the touches that either the system or you, or they have something called the text concierge, which is where they have a real live human that actually throws the text out to this person and also responds by text message to all your inbound messages. In terms of technical savvy, Bold Leads is way ahead of the pack because they copied ClickFunnels, and ClickFunnels is way ahead of the pack. Like everybody wants I want you to dumb it down and make this simple for me so that I don't have to spend 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 hours learning how to use a system or learning how to do this. Bold Leads is the only person inside real estate that has done that. You can learn how to use their system in 20 minutes. You can become an expert in 2 hours. It's so simple. It's so easy to use. And that's why I really always strongly talk about them. I mean, in any marketing system, anything that you use, it's very similar like to talking to a stockbroker. Not everybody's results are going to be the same. I just have things that I like from a technology perspective, or I look at a system and I go, this is more solid than other systems that I've seen. And that's the case with Bold Leads. You don't even have a website. So if you're looking for a website solution, this isn't it. It's not a website CRM combo like Real Estate Webmasters is. It's straight up a lead generation system that happens to have a good CRM with a marketing funnel on the back end. You can build the same marketing funnels using HubSpot. If you're a professional marketer type, if they're, for the 1 or 2 of our listeners that considers themselves to be an expert level marketer, and if you happen to have a real estate website that you own that's built on WordPress, then HubSpot, because it has integrations with WordPress that are pretty insane, becomes the best CRM that you can possibly find on the market. It's what I use.
Right, so we forgot one other actually, folks, but it's linked because we've talked to top, and now we're talking about Bold Leads. And before I go on to the other one, which is Real Geeks, to wrap up, the price point we're talking about Bold Leads compared to the 2 previous we've discussed is in a very different price point. Is that correct, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So we're talking around the $500 to $1,000 a month mark, aren't we?
Right. Bold Leads tends to be a less expensive system. They're kind of a starter system, and most agents can probably afford, not most, well, I don't know, never mind. But if you're going to be able to afford a marketing system, Bold Leads is certainly more reachable than others.
I think not everybody, but I think if you're serious about your career, you probably should be at a stage where you could consider that kind of price point myself. Now, Real Geeks, let's wrap up with Real Geeks. What are they and what do they do?
Well, Real Geeks makes the the least expensive, like solid website direct marketing platform kind of combination that you can find. And their sites, if you're clever with a content management system, can even be used for SEO. Not very well, but they can. So Real Geeks makes a great website for about $239 a month, and they have a CRM that comes in on the back of it. Their content management system is not that great. They don't have their page template thing that builds their pages, also not that great. They do have an excellent text messaging service on the back end of their platform. They also have an excellent Facebook plugin on the back end of their platform. Their CRM is even simpler. and not as intuitive as, let's say, real estate webmasters or bold leads, but they do have one, and it does work. It does the trick, and a lot of people use it very successfully. So when I'm saying that, I'm just a guy that looks at something and goes, oh my God, this is the best in class. And that's what I aim for with my own products and services. And it takes a long goddamn time, as you well know, because you're doing the same thing with your service, to build up something where you feel like you've managed to ring the bell on every single thing that the bell can be rung on. Real Geeks kind of does everything second best, but they do it all. They do it all. They've got a CRM, they've got a website, you can build pages, their sites work fast, they're mobile friendly. I like Real Geeks. I don't want anybody to think I'm panning them, because I'm not. For the money, you're going to get a good website, and it's going to be connected to a decent CRM. And if you use direct marketing to push people into the site, which is what it's made for, real clear here, those sites are made to be direct marketed to. That means you're spending money on Facebook or Google to drive traffic to the site.
And they're a little bit of a hybrid, really, because they use Google paid for click and Facebook, where Bold Leads utilizes Facebook generated traffic to go to their landing pages. I am correct about that, aren't I?
Yeah. So, I'm strongly in favor of Real Geeks. I haven't looked at
And so the actual website again, how much does that roughly cost per month?
It's $239, usually a one-time only $500 setup fee. They send you to one of 3 subcontractors that they do business with to actually build the site out for you.
Oh, I didn't know that. And but you've got to pay extra, or are you paid them $500 extra a month for either?
Just one time to build.
So who runs the Facebook campaigns? Who runs the Google paid campaigns? Do you have to
run them?
Or
you can spend $300 a month and let Real Geeks run it. So you've got 2 choices. You can run it yourself, or you can give them $300 a month. And I may be wrong on the fee, because I think I've gotten 2 different fees from 2 different people that I've talked to recently about Real Geeks, because the way that my information stays so updated is every single time I get on the phone with somebody, which, like I said, I've always said I do that 2 or 3 times a day, every day. And every time I get on the phone with somebody, I'm like, who are you using? What are you doing for marketing? How much are you paying? And how's it working? That's where a lot of my opinions come from. It's from listening to actual people using these services and asking questions. And so with Real Geeks, I got one person that said 300, another person said 500 to manage the campaign, and that was recently. So seeing as how they were just sold not so long ago, maybe the prices are changing. I don't know, but somewhere between $300 and $500.
So fundamentally, we're looking at around $1,000 a month again. So folks, we've looked at 2 packages. That one package, you're looking at $3,000 a month plus. You're looking at another which will be over 3,000 plus, and we're looking at 2 packages around 1,000 a month, 12,000 a year. So I think I think it was really, really well worth us doing this episode, because I think we're clarified now what's out there and what you should look at, and obviously look at your product as well, because you're trying to do a hybrid, aren't you? That's the impression I'm getting, between the top tier, but you're trying to offer organic at a slightly lower price, but still get effective results. Would that be correct, Rob?
Yeah, currently that is correct. Currently, I'm offering organic results, and there's another major difference. Like, I'm already less expensive than real estate webmasters, and I include SEO, and they don't. And that's another thing that I do is I'm trying to make like an all done for you, no hand, like you don't need to do squat kind of service, because in all the conversations I have with realtors, the frustration is always, how do we find time to learn about these technologies? How do we find time to even use these services? Because I thought I was paying for a completely 100% self-maintenance, self-managed campaign. And most of the time, that's not true. Even with real estate webmasters, if you hire them for SEO on top of what it starts at like $2,500 a month. It's like crazy how much they charge at the starting rate. I mean, I'm not saying that when that's your starting campaign, that's high. Not that that's high in general for every single campaign, but when you're starting there, that's pretty high.
Right, Robert, how can people find out more about you and what you're up to?
Boom, baby. Love it when you ask that question. Let's go to inboundrem.com. I am a little slow on the uptake on content this year, guys. I'm going to do 3 or 4 posts. I do have a lead on KV Core and Curator, everybody's favorite. I've got somebody who may be sending me a login in the next couple days. So, bang, you should come to my site and subscribe because I might be dropping some wildly, highly requested reviews there.
That's great. We'll be back next week. We got a guest next week, folks. He's returning. I'm going to keep it a secret, but it's going to be an interesting discussion. We'll be back next week, folks. And hopefully I'm going to be feeling 100% and really active to give you the value that you are looking for yourself, but also your family. We'll see you soon, folks. Bye.